All right, we got a beautiful sunny day here out in Delta, Ohio. I'm going to be recording another video regarding baptismal regeneration and specifically addressing Ed Pulaski. I'm going to try to put it to him as straight as possible so that these videos don't continue to ramble on and on, which they have, and we could get to a point where we have 30 of these videos and have never actually hit the point. So Ed, you know, your last video you touched on three phases, as you called them, of salvation, which I actually agreed with most of the video. I don't know if phases is a good way to put it. I mean, we are continually justified by the work of Christ. We're continually sanctified, and ultimately we're beginning to live in that glorification, but we are not ultimately glorified until His return, as you've said. So, again, I don't necessarily disagree with anything in that, but it doesn't touch on baptism. I know you're going to get there, and I think your point is maybe to lay. I'm anticipating. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but your point is to say that when it talks about baptism saving, that's not talking about justification or glorification, but that it's talking about sanctification. Again, that's a formulation. That's a way to maneuver, maybe, in order to make it work for you, to make it fit your theology, but I don't think you can find that like clearly articulated in Scripture. Again, I think you're doing some work to massage it. So what I want to challenge you to do is let's go back to that first video and deal with 2 or 3, and I won't even ask you to deal with all of them. Deal with 2 or 3, maybe 4 of the text that I brought up, and go ahead and explain them to us, to the viewing audience, how they can't mean what I'm saying they mean, which is simply what they say. And explain that, and let's all watch on and see if what Ed's doing is pouring out the clear reading of Scripture, or if he's playing games to fit a theology that he is more comfortable with because it's not so traditional. So for the rest of this video, I just wanted to take you guys on a little cruise in my ride. Ed took us for a cruise in his ride, which was really nice looking inside there. Had a moonroof, beautiful vehicle. I presume from the inside, I've never been in one, but I presume it was either a Bentley, maybe a Rolls Royce, or a Benz. I'm not sure, but obviously really nice. Sorry that I won't be able to take you on as nice of a cruise, but I'll take you on, I guess my best vehicle through, and I'll take you through one of my favorite places. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you what I'm riding, and then we'll go for a quick cruise together, and then I'll show you where we're at. So here you go. We are hopping on the bicycle today. Got it rigged up for this video. Should be fun. All right. Let me get you guys clipped in. All right, we're locked and loaded. So we're about to go down a nice hill, and it should be a lot of fun. Now, again, I just want to remind everybody, just to be clear, that baptism saves. What is salvation? What does salvation mean? That's the question that Ed kind of posed to us. And I would simply say this: salvation is having the work of Christ imparted to us. That is salvation. That is what salvation is. So when we think of sanctification, that is having the life of Christ imparted to us, that we might live as Christ lives, live a holy, pure life. Justification is having the suffering of Christ imparted to us, taking away our sin, that we might be justified before God. Right? Glorification is having the resurrection of Christ imparted to us, so that we will be raised to new life with perfect and glorified bodies. So salvation is still one thing. It's not 3 different things, but 3 aspects of salvation. Indeed, would be justification, sanctification, and glorification, which are all things applied to us by Christ. Period. Now, so then we ask the question: where does baptism come into this? Because Ed didn't ever touch on that in his last video. He didn't mention baptism. But again, if we go back to Romans 6, right, we are in baptism, we're united, right, to the death of Christ. We are crucified with Him. That is our justification. We are united with His resurrection. That is our glorification, which we, by the way, already have, but it will be manifest, of course, at the second coming. And our sanctification is the life of Christ imputed to us, again, which is something that we receive in baptism. I guess I don't see where there's not clarity in this. I don't see why we don't like these verses. So, anyways, I'm cruising around, and I'm going to cruise around just to kind of remind you of how important this doctrine is. So, if you give me just a couple minutes, I am going around a loop right now, and while I'm going around this loop, and then I'm going to climb up a hill, and then I'm going to show you where we're at. I would remind you of the initial challenge of this video is, Ed, take some of the text from my first video and tell me how they support your view. And when I say that is, what I mean is, don't tell me what those verses don't mean or what those verses can't mean. Instead, tell me what they actually mean. Tell me what it means that baptism now saves you. Tell me what it means that we are united with Christ, death, burial, resurrection in baptism. Tell me what that means that we're, the Galatians text that I quoted, the various different texts. Sorry guys, climbing a hill here. But I want to know. I want to know not what those texts can't mean. I don't want them explained away. I want to know what they actually mean. About to pull under a tree, turn this camera around and tell you why this is important. Alright. I'll pop you guys out of my bike here. Take a look around where we're at. It's important because one day we're all here. Every last one of us. This is where we end up. And the question is as you live through your life, going to approach that day where there'll be one of these stones placed near you or above you, and you'll be in the ground waiting for the final resurrection. That is your future reality. Now, when you get to this reality, are you going to go there trusting in your own goodness, knowing that you have not been good? Are you going to get there trusting in your own belief and how strong your faith and belief is, even though you know that there are nights over and over that you experience even today where you struggle with doubt, where you struggle with unbelief? Are you going to go ahead and rest assured that your belief has been just good enough to get here? Or are you going to have the audacity to believe that Christ has already united you with His life, death, and resurrection in baptism? That He's already come to you, that He's already given that to you. And that, yes, you may reject it if you want, and you may end up being lost even though you've been baptized, but that ultimately you can take comfort knowing that though you've struggled, though all the things that have happened to you have happened, you still know that you have been united to Christ's life, death, and resurrection for you in baptism. That someday when you're in this field and these graves all open up and the glorious resurrection occurs, you will come out knowing that you have been washed, cleansed, forgiven, united with Christ. See, baptism's good news, folks. It's real good news. Believe it. Receive it. God bless you. And that's it.